My ex's girlfriend texted me. I warned her about my ex and I lost my best friend for that. English is not my first language. In case you find some fault. Sorry. For context, I, 23, broke up with my ex, 31, about 1 year ago. We last about 3 years. Lived together 2 months. Well, together and with all his family in his city. Things were not good. Neither with him nor with his family. I'm not going to go into the details of 2 long years in which I stopped being me and became a shadow of the person I had been. I managed to get out of that abusive relationship, in which his parents and sisters and brothers participated. Of course, when I had 7 people telling me that I was to blame for the situation and that I deserved what had happened, I believed it. But that's not the point here. Just a brief context. 2 days ago my ex's new girlfriend, 21-22, I guess for her Instagram, texted me. She noticed that my secondary account, inactive for about 3 years, was still following my ex, and she started writing me nasty words that I won't repeat. I didn't look for her to tell her anything, because I had no idea she existed. I blocked my ex from all my social networks when I left him, except for that one, apparently, but I don't even remember the damn password. I don't know if I would have done it if I had known of its existence. Probably not. She probably wouldn't have believed me either, like now. However, I didn't get into the discussion. Actually, I didn't answer any of those taunts or bad words, but I did warn her to get out of there. I don't know what story they told about me, but I don't care too much either. At this point, I'm just grateful that I was able to get out there and be free of all of that. So, she started sending me audios that I didn't hear. I simply repeated to her that, for her sake, she should get out of that relationship in which everything now seemed wonderful, before she found herself working to give them all her money, also doing all the housework and taking care of my ex, his father and his brothers because they are men. I also warned her not to buy my ex's good mask. He's not a nice guy, he knows how to lie, he knows how to manipulate, he knows how to make your life hell while keeping you tied to him. I warned her of that he would become abusive. I feel like she didn't want to read anything I had to tell her, but I hope that at some point my words will click in her head. For her sake, I hope so. Now, my best friend was with me when this happened. We'll call her Betty, for her anonymity and all that stuff. We were meeting another friend and they didn't say anything at first, more focused on their coffee and gossip, until I reported that I had warned the new girlfriend and Betty seemed annoyed and told me I shouldn't have warned her. Betty seemed to even defend him this time. Betty knows the whole story, so I was surprised and asked her why, but she just started saying that I had to learn to forgive and let go. I was a bit shocked, but my other friend agreed with her. Since then Betty has not spoken to me. I'm confused about that attitude because she was there to pick me up every time I was broken. She knows how it affected me and how it still affects me to this day. But she then came out with the forgive and forget shit. She even went so far as to say that she could have broken off my ex new relationship. Through my other friend I received the information that Betty had said that I was resentful, that I only said all that because I still loved my ex. I asked Betty directly for an explanation, but she completely ignored me. I don't understand. We have been friends since we were little. She was there when I managed to get out of that relationship. She herself helped me open my eyes. It had never been like this before. I don't know if I really did the wrong thing by warning my ex's new girlfriend, or if it's something else. I don't understand. I don't understand why she defends him now. I don't understand why she says those things. I don't know why she ignores me. I don't know if I can forgive her for this either. I don't know what to do. Does anyone have any idea why she took that attitude? Did I really do so wrong by advising my ex's girlfriend? Update: my ex's girlfriend texted me. I warned her about my ex and I lost my best friend for that. I need to get this out of the inside because not only do I feel anger, but I feel like I'm going back again because of Betty's effing whims. I feel the faults. Again, English is not my first language and I am also nervous. Some asked me to update. They wrote to me privately asking me what finally happened, and even though I don't know if this counts as an update because I'm venting more than updating, I'll just leave it here. For those who don't know, I posted a post asking for help because I didn't understand my best friend's reaction when I told my ex's girlfriend to stay away from him. Not even a day passed. I found out they were having sex and that's why she defended him. Now, things got screwed up here. She started constantly trying to contact me, so I blocked her from all sides. She came to my family's house. I decided to stay there that night. I needed my mom and my mom yelled at her to leave or she would call the police. Betty even made it to Reddit. Once someone I know who, Jay, and you gonna pay me a beer, found the post and started passing it through our friends and started replying to messages. I'm summarizing it too much and it may not make sense, but between one thing and another, I don't even know at what point it all went so shitty. Betty's boyfriend eventually found out, but not through Reddit. Betty told him a slightly suspicious story about why we had argued, but he took the opportunity at some point to check her cell phone. He explained to me that he had only needed an excuse to do it. Because he suspected an affair. Because he knew that Betty was lying to him. Because he himself has accepted that he needed to leave her after trying to deal with her for so long. I know Betty doesn't have the most straightforward character, but I thought all the good things outweighed that. He found out about everything and wrote to me. I wasn't really interested in the Betty drama and her breakup, but he, now ex, had also read messages about me between them. And I feel that I can understand why you would sleep with him if you were a piece of shit without morals, but I don't understand why the hell you would pass him pictures of me. You would talk to him about how I'm doing, about what I do. I couldn't continue reading the conversation, because I really felt sick. I have tried to get away from him in every way, blocking him, cutting mutual friends out of my life, changing phone number, I even cut and dyed my damn hair for good measure. And she just threw all of that away. Finally yesterday, when I got home from work and decided I deserved a nice bottle of wine, red of course, she came to my house. She started screaming, crying, banging on the door. I told her to go away or I would call the police because I didn't want to hear anything she had to say to me. She ignored it, so I called the police. And my mom, of course. She kept yelling that if she ignored her, she would make me listen the hard way. She said that I deserved what she had done to me, that I was ruining her life, that I had to forgive her. And so, for me, she dug her own grave. Okay, I can pass on some empty threats. I can even deal with the fact that now I feel insecure again, knowing that my ex can find me. I can be okay with all of that. I'll survive, I always have. But she then blamed me. She told me, in front of the police and my mom, that I deserved what my ex had done. She said that it was my damn fault because surely I had done something wrong, that there was most likely something wrong with me, that he with her was not like that he even cried for me when she showed him my photos. And I know it might can sound silly, I really do, but after spending so much time in therapy, blaming myself, feeling inadequate, feeling like something was wrong with me, feeling like no one would ever love me because I felt dirty and damaged, that was the thing worse than she could have said. And she knew it. Because she knew how I had felt. And she knew that was taking a knife and stabbing again into a closing wound. So fuck it, Betty. I can't give details right now, but I just got out of the police station. I'm waiting for the complaint to be processed because I don't want to get involved in legal matters here. I don't know if could affect it in any way. I'm extremely lucky to have witnesses, support and the love of my family and friends. I'm hiring a good lawyer too. Well, my unrecognized and non-biological dad is doing its stepfather. He works in justice too, so he knows a lot more about all this than I do. I just wanted to get it off my chest before I went to work. I have that from here a long, hard and mentally exhausting process is going to start, because my ex is also involved. I would have left things as they were, but I feel like I can't just live taking other people's shit anymore. Maybe that was the message I gave at that moment, that he could step on me whenever he wanted without any consequences. But mess with my best friend to keep harassing me? Nope. No more. That was the last straw that made the damn glass explode. Fuck you too. If Jay passes the post again, and comes to you again, I really want to say that I hope you two have a hard time. And that you really feel something of what I felt these days. You said that I would end up forgiving and forgetting, for being too good. There is no forgive and forget here. Not anymore. They hurt me in the worst possible way. I'm just going to defend myself legally. I don't care how much damage this causes them. I don't mind ruining their lives, ending their careers. I don't care if that happens. Not when I don't even feel safe at home anymore. I should have done it when I left that hell, but I didn't even have the strength to support myself. Now I have it, and, fortunately for me or unfortunately for you, I also have the rage to carry you too. I am angry. I feel betrayed and hurt and I know I don't deserve it. However, I also know that I am not alone. I know it's going to be hard, but I go to therapy. I have an amazing family and friends who didn't hesitate to send Betty to hell. Despite everything, I'm fine. I'll be fine. As long as I have myself, I know I will be. And you guys, thanks for the private messages, for the comments and all the concern. Thank you for distracting my mind these days too, for the advice, the good messages of support. It really warmed my heart. I'm going to go to work, but my heart is racing and many things are on my mind. I just hope I can say it's all over soon, although the judicial processes will take time. Much love and health to all. Blackheart. Edit, I didn't said here, but my ex was an abuser. Not going to spread the details. Final update. First, I want to clarify a couple of things that were repeated by message. If I have such a wonderful family, why didn't they help me get out of there? Because they didn't know. Mom was hysterical by the end, ready to take a 2-day drive to find out why the hell I ignored most calls or why I didn't come home for vacation. I only came home for 2 weeks, alone, and it was very early in the relationship. I don't know if I mentioned it at any point, but Mom calls me Mrs. Independent for a reason. Asking for help wasn't something I normally did, but I'm learning how to do it. Why did Reddit delete your last update? It did not. I deleted it. My lawyer recommended that I do it due to the legal processes that were taking place, so I deleted the last one and decided to wait. Now to the latest update. And honestly, the end of all this crap. My grandmother wanted to be grandmother of the year and she adopted Betty, not literally, so they lived happily together. I don't remember who commented that misery loves company, but that's right. I have not had contact with Betty or my grandmother, only what my mother has told me the few times she has spoken with them. Asked for the update. Betty decided not to go through with the pregnancy once her parents got in the way. I know she was taken away a couple of days ago, finally, and my grandmother is trying to talk to me again, but honestly I'm too emotionally drained to deal with her right now. As for the rest, everything has been as good as it could be knowing that my ex knew, from Betty, where I live, where I work, what my hours are, what I look like now. I've been, despite therapy, effing paranoid. I think I was right not to go into too much detail at the time, but I was also asked about the abuse I mentioned. I don't want to delve into that now. I've managed to sleep, thanks diazepam, for 9 straight and full hours and I feel fairly good enough not to want to spoil it. I managed to flee that house with nothing more than what was necessary and my life hanging by a thread. All my things were burned, clothes, my computer, my books, the few family photos that I had taken with me, But mom says that more was lost in the war in Cuba and that none of that matters. The only thing that matters is that I'm safe, at home, with her, is right, and not a day goes by that I don't regret not calling her when I was in trouble. But that's okay, because the therapy is helping me a lot to forgive myself. It's been long and there are days when I still feel an almost irrational hatred towards myself, but as my therapist says, one step at a time. Now, I'm only updating for one reason. It's all over. My ex was found dead of a cocaine overdose on Thursday. Whether I'm a bad person or not, I feel that now I can breathe in peace. I just feel relief, pure relief. I feel like there is no more walking around constantly looking over my shoulder. No more turning in the stomach for hearing the doorbell of my house. No more fear. I can't feel anything negative about his death. Just relief. And it's completely fine. Because in fact yes, it absolutely relieves me. I can only thank life over and over again because everything is over. It's over. My gosh. I can't even describe the feeling I get writing this. It's been a time of absolute rubbish. Ever since this all started. I can't begin to explain all the shit I felt. The shit they made me feel. The shit they directly did to me. But it's over. He is no more. My ex's mother has tried to contact me about attending the funeral. Hint, no. She apologized to me for what she allowed them to do to me and for what she herself did to me. I texted her saying that I didn't accept her apology, that I didn't want her in my life, and that I never wanted to hear from her again. I loved her so much at the time, when shit was hitting us both, but she decided to turn on me near the end. Her crush almost cost me my life. I don't want any more of that. I blocked her too. All I have for them is a fuck you all in hell. The future me probably has to deal with the feelings of anger that they cause me, but right now I just want to keep healing myself, focus on my family and my work, my studies. Yes, mom and stepdad gave me a fund so I could go back to school, as motivation for how proud they are of me, and they didn't take crap about not wanting to be a financial burden on them, and on my friends. Unfortunately I have been missing Betty. No, I'm not going to have any kind of contact with her again, but she was my friend for years. It was practically my sister. Her betrayal and losing her hurt a lot, more than any breakup. Despite the harassment charges, necessary if I was going to get a restraining order to stop her coming to my door crying and yelling, I think I'm going to drop them. They no longer make any sense. She went to her hometown with her parents and the real culprit is dead. There is no more fighting here. And gosh, I'm glad I don't have to keep fighting over any of this. Bloody relief washes over me every time I think it's over. Because, God, it's over. I'm going back to being me. I am trusting myself again, laughing out loud and allowing myself to meet new people. I am rebuilding myself one step at a time, one day at a time, and I am so proud of the person I am becoming again. I missed me a lot. To S. Damn it, my partner in crime, the great golden retriever that my first post brought into my life, someone who with his beautiful soul became a real friend to me. Thank you. Thanks for being here. Thanks for having one of the most loving hearts I've ever known. Thanks for making me laugh. Thank you also for teaching me to improve my English, even though I'm back to using the translator. Core too much. To A. I've never met anyone quite like you. My book Dragon. Reading a story similar to mine made me feel less alone. Thank you for supporting me and for the encouragement. Thanks for being you. The world needs more good-hearted idiots like you. If I get something good out of all of this, must have the people who accidentally slipped into my day-to-day, like you. Thanks. To all those who wrote to me during this time, who cared, who told me about their experiences, who took the time to give me their opinion or offer me their points of view, to everyone who sent me photos of their pets, thank you very much. There were many messages and I appreciated each one of them. I don't think I can ever thank Reddit enough for all the support and well wishes. So this is the end, I guess. Hope so. I wish all of you a life full of love and health. My best wishes are with you. Bless your soul. Blackheart. Update, I've never been good at titles but I want to get it out, so here it goes. It is much easier to write on the internet, knowing that you are anonymous to most people, than it is to vent to the people around you. When I asked for advice because I thought I had screwed up with my sister, I never thought it would go to these lengths. I never thought that everything I would do would be out of stupid jealousy. I guess I learned my lesson here though. Be careful who you put your trust in. Some people will just pick it up, step on it, and then blame you for it. I know in my final update I said I was better. Everyone believed that I was doing well, but the truth is that I was not. When I was 14 years old I tried to commit suicide for the first time. I was dealing with a pretty bad depression and I didn't know how to ask for help. I always felt that I had to deal with my problems alone, that I was strong enough to get by completely alone and in silence, but the truth is that it was not like that. And when I felt the same way again, I was scared, because I knew exactly what it meant. I didn't want to admit to myself that I was completely down and kept pretending I was fine in front of everyone. I went to therapy, I knew the importance of speaking, and yet the fear of admitting to myself why I was feeling what I was feeling completely paralyzed me. I would force myself so hard to get out of bed, to keep going to work, to even have a conversation with someone. It was so hard to do it, but I did it, because it was either that or really accept what had happened. And I was afraid to do it. And then I just couldn't take it anymore. I am grateful, now, that they found me in time. My cat saved my life, meowing as loud as she could and scratching at my door, loud enough for my neighbor to worry. Thanks to the paper walls, I guess. But, if I have gotten something out of this, it is that I have had to talk, to tell what really happened in that place, my personal hell. I never thought people could be so mean, but I guess I was naive. Many have asked why I ran away, Why my ex tried to kill me? What exactly happened? I trusted my ex's mother with my life, until one day she said that she was in love with me. I tried to pull away, but it didn't work. She kept justifying her actions with her feelings and frustration. I remember her crying while talking and touching me. I never thought a woman could do this to me, but then again, I was too naive. When my ex found out, because she told him, justifying that I had provoked her, he went crazy. I had nightmares for months with those eyes full of rage and disgust staring back at me as he strangled me. I don't know at what exact point I stopped fighting. I just know that I ended up passing out. When I opened my eyes and realized what had happened, I could no longer justify the situation in my head. I grabbed my bag as fast as I could and in my pajamas I ran out. I got on the first train to my city and I can only look at people's faces when they see me. Imagine what the hell they were thinking. I didn't even care one bit. I wasn't thinking about anything but home. 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 I remember calling my mom when I was arriving at the station. I remember her face when she saw me. How she cried when she saw the bruises on my neck. Putting my mom through that was a very hard blow. We told everyone that I had decided to come on vacation and that I finally stayed because I had found a job. I didn't want to assume the amount of things that had happened and enough to tell my mom a small part of the story. I started therapy, although I wasn't able to fully open up either. And little by little I was forcing myself to go back to being the person I had been before so they would stop worrying. I wanted mom to stop worrying. Most of all, I wanted her to stop feeling guilty for assuming my lack of contact was due to being misindependent. Things inside my mind only got worse, but I conveniently concealed them. Until I blew up, I guess. As much as I would like to go back to being the person I was before, I can't be anymore, because circumstances change you. My attempt to chase the person I was at the age of 19 made me feel even worse, because I couldn't be anymore. Little by little I stopped enjoying everything that made me happy. I closed myself in a bubble and simply let life happen. I guess I'm still not quite clear on who the hell I am, but I'm in the process. Little by little, but the first step has been to accept the totality of what happened, to talk about it, to admit it to myself. I was mistreated, beaten, raped, abused, betrayed and blamed for all of it. And accepting it cost me more than a year and a suicide attempt, but the reality is what it is. Running away from it is impossible. And it was when I woke up in the hospital that I realized I didn't want to. What really scared me was what my family was going to think of me, but when they found out, I only received love, support, understanding. I received anger, too, but not towards me, but towards what they did to me. I will never be able to put words to the relief I felt when it all finally came out. It was like the big rock on my back suddenly disappeared. My new therapist, along with the old one, are doing a good job. I will be eternally grateful to them, because I have been very lucky with them. Yesterday they called me because we didn't have a session. It was my first day out of the hospital. I'll be back tonight, but it's been fun despite Sheila. I had burritos for dinner. We escaped at 3 in the morning to buy a McFlurry and today we are going to go buy some things for my new or old, depending on how you look at it, room at my mom's house. I have hugged my cat almost all the time. I missed her a lot. I didn't want to post this here. I thought the latest update would suffice, but I guess things change. I am, now yes, healing. The person I'm becoming is a little less bright than I was, but I like it, less dumb, less naive, a little more suspicious, but still me in a way. I have met people within the hospital with difficult histories who continue to have hearts of gold. Regardless of everything, somehow, I'm still having a good time there. 4 nights ago my roommates and I escaped to the roof, and although we got caught and punished for it, we had a good time looking at the moon. I have returned to enjoying the little things. I have returned to drawing with enthusiasm, without forcing myself to do it. I have enjoyed meals again. I have been able to sleep again without many nightmares or the need for pills. In general, although things are not entirely good, they are fairly on track to be. I know this post is going to circulate among my friends and that some are going to ask me why the hell I kept all this quiet, but that's okay. I'm no longer ashamed of what happened, because it's not my fault, even though I still feel that way sometimes. I am in the process of forgiving myself, looking forward and becoming much stronger. It sounds very nice when you read it, but it is not so nice when you live it. It takes time, crying, days where you seem to regress, moments of sheer despair over the feelings you have. But it's okay, I guess. And I'm going to be fine too because I always end up being fine. I don't know if I will post again in the future, but for now this is all I have to say. If this helps someone, as it is helping me to write it, assume it and talk about it, I'm glad then. I guess all this text is just to say that it's okay to not be okay, and I'm not, but at some point I will be again. As always, life never stops for anyone. Maybe that is sometimes the worst, needing a break from living and knowing that you won't be able to get it. However, eventually, everything gets better. I have my hope in that, in the healing process, in my effort and in continuing to fight. I don't know at what point I went from living to surviving, but I want to go back to living again. And according to my therapist, wanting is the first step. I pray that I can look back one day without the memory causing me pain, but time to time. I just wanted to thank you again for the messages, for the nice words, the encouragement, and above all for the beautiful people here. God knows how much I have appreciated each message and response loaded with love and good intentions. Now, actually, I'm going to have a coffee before I go shopping for emerald green sheets for when I get back to my mom's. My stepdad ordered a huge bookcase for my books and he's going to put it together for when I get back. And my brother is already moving things in his room to make space for a new puff for play Minecraft together. My family, as it is wonderful, small,
sometimes dysfunctional, full of some bad moments, but mine and incredible, and I just hope I can enjoy them for many more years. So that's all. Thanks for everything.